Welcome to Game Crashers, a podcast dedicated to kicking open the door to your next favorite thing. Our mission, our creed, and our code is this: to make all things more approachable and accessible to everyone. We want you to find a universe that you'll fall in love with. Hi, I'm Dan. My pronouns are he, him.
Hi, I'm Patrick, and my pronouns are he, him.
And I'm Amanda. My pronouns are she, her. Today we're going to be talking about Dandadan. I'm really excited. We're going to be talking about Dandadan with Big Dan, which is fun.
I fucking love this. I loved the show.
Oh my god, Dandadan is so good. We're not gonna do any spoilers up front. We're just gonna talk a little bit about the show itself, the manga, sort of what it's about, and then we will let you all know when the spoilers will begin, so that if you haven't read or gotten a chance to watch it yet, you can pause real quick, go do that, and then come back. But yeah, so Dandadan is a manga series. It is a shonen manga series. It runs in Shonen Jump, and it's written and illustrated by Yukinobu Tatsu. It is currently ongoing and has been being serialized since April 2021. It currently has 20 volumes. And last year, in October, the first season of the anime started airing. So that's really fun and exciting for everyone involved. Where can we find Dandadan? You can read it on the Shonen Jump app or the Viz Media app. You can find it in your local bookstore. If you are of the pirate genre, you can also do that. And where can we find the anime?
Libraries.
Yes, libraries as well. But then we have the anime, and there's been originally I learned of it on Netflix, and I know that sometimes Netflix anime can like have a bit of a stigma behind it. But I think it's really important that you know that Dandadan is really fun and really good, but you can find it on Netflix and also Crunchyroll. Do we know if it's on Hulu? I don't think it is.
It is not on Hulu.
It is not on Hulu, so
I don't think so. It's a Netflix and Crunchyroll.
Netflix and Crunchyroll. You can find it there, or however else you find your anime. I don't know what kind of powers you have.
Is it edited any differently between Netflix and Crunchyroll?
I honestly have no idea. I think that would involve having to like dual cast them.
Compare them? Yeah.
Take a look.
I just want to know if everywhere just calls it bananas, or if that is that what the series actually calls genitals, or if that was just the editing.
I think that they also call it that in the manga.
Incredible.
Yeah. So at least the editing, the translation across the board seems to be very consistent. But yeah, I've yapped a lot about like Dandadan and like where you can find it, but what the fuck is Dandadan? It is, like I said, a shonen manga series, and the basic log line is, you know, a girl obsessed with ghosts and a boy obsessed with aliens dare each other to search for the other, and then shit goes crazy.
That's a good way to put it.
That's certainly one way to put it.
I mean, that's basically what happens.
Yeah. It's X-Files, but both people believe in something completely different. They're both Mulder, and there's no Scully.
Yeah. And they're also both right. So
they're also both right. Yes. And that's the best part.
The other thing I will say just real quick, it is technically a shonen. If you're somebody who's really turned off by shonens kind of in general, this is not like a
this isn't a regular shonen. It's a cool shonen.
There's a lot of genre bending a little bit in this, where there's romance, there's thriller, action, and there's a lot of action and stuff like that too, but it's not just, you know, a hack and slash in anime form.
Before we were recording, I was like, the one thing I knew about this book before starting it, because Jake had taught me, is that the mangaka who made it, his editor made him go and read 100 romance mangas because of how bad his first idea was. So it like actually works for the series. So like it actually lets him make fully fleshed out characters with like well written romance. So it's not just a shonen where it's just like, the whiny male lead just crying about how he needs to be All Might or something.
Don't pull that into here, okay?
Listen, I'm just saying that's normally what a shonen is. Well, Naruto does the same thing, but it's about being Hokage.
Yeah, but like shit on Naruto.
He's
Don't shit on
boisterous
my little
about
crybaby.
Yeah, well, hold on.
We're in a completely different episode.
Listen, he can still catch strays. Yeah, but it's a really solid book and show. I didn't watch it. Didn't read the book. I watched the show. So
I did read the whole manga so far up until, present. And it's so much fun. Before we get into any of like the actual plot and stuff, though, I do think it's important that we kind of address some potential trigger warnings as you move into this series. There is, of course, the typical, violence, and it's kind of bloody, and it does sort of dabble in horror elements. So there's a little bit of like body horror and gore in that respect, but also there are themes of sexual violence and assault, particularly of a minor by adults. And there are also instances of suicide throughout. And particularly in the first season of the anime, there is a episode that does deal very heavily with suicide, and there are many instances of attempted sexual assault. So just keep that in mind as you wade into the Dandadan waters.
Yeah. So do you want to get into the show, or is there anything else you want to talk to before we get into spoilers?
I don't know. Is there anything else any other thoughts that you had, Pat, before we just kind of start being a...
Would you compare it to any other animes? Like, if I liked so-and-so, would I like this? I mean, me personally, the only ones I've really engaged with are the horror-ish mangas, and I think this really does work in the same vein as like Chainsaw Man for me, in a good way.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair comparison. I personally don't. I feel like Dandadan is so different from what, like, it has aspects of other media, other manga and anime that I consume, but it doesn't feel like it sits in a specific category or on the same shelf with anything else.
Yeah. And I will say, too, it definitely has horror inspiration to it, but, there are some creepy looking guys in it, but it is definitely not horror from, like, there aren't really, at least in my opinion, there aren't really that many jump scares or like true funny horror elements. So if that's making you nervous, there's definitely creepy, and there's definitely a lot of really heavy moments, but it's not a true horror, but it is definitely in the vein of, I normally, like you said, if you normally read horror manga, watch horror anime, that this is a good diversion from that, and will kind of still fit in themes with a lot of the stuff you like, for sure. I would also say that if it's trying to say this in a way that is not shitting on another property too much, but if it's like, but if you, for example, watch Jujutsu Kaisen and be like, wow, I really wish this plot made sense. This is probably, kind of the same idea, some of the world building and stuff of spirits and nature, and really and science fiction, and pulling in a lot of things that it has like cultural meaning and references, but has a lot more succinct plot and character development and pacing. And I think it's really good. And it's also, I would say, like, less, I think it's kind of similar in the same vein as Chainsaw Man, like you'd said, but it's also
it's not as depressing.
It's not as depressing, and it's also less intense.
Yeah. Like the like Chainsaw Man for the first 100 issues is like, not 100 issues. The beginning is very horny in a way that's like not guided He's just like kind of unbridled, but this is like romantic in like a good way.
Yeah, like I really think like if you're kind of like me and you have basically lived in the shonen space your entire life, but like any romance that has appeared in shonen has felt kind of like flat and like why did you put that there? There was no development. I truly genuinely feel that Dandadan gives me the perfect blend of like finally, I get my explosions and my fighty bits, and also I get my B plot romance, and it actually works.
Like in Pat, you brought up JJK. Now, I haven't gotten to talk about this yet in any episode, but those two gay guys in JJK never get to kiss each other because the Gito and Goja,
Oh my god.
they love each other, and they had their little breakup outside the KFC, and that just broke. Like it's heartbreaking. This, like, you get to see a couple grow, and they get to kiss eventually. But those two, what do you call that? Tragic lovers. What is that? Where you end in tragedy, like Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how I feel about those two. That's my, what is that thing called the shippers use? What's
OTP.
yeah. That's my OTP.
Yeah. Just, for statistics reasons, Dandadan is currently on chapter 203 and they have not kissed yet.
Really?
Yes.
There's
Well,
no
and that's
200.
that also is maybe a little fair because they are high schoolers,
Well, yes.
and I think he's trying to be respectful to the fact that they're high schoolers. That's something that really
I think that's
feels-
fair. But also I think I don't remember exactly where. I know I texted you about it, Pat, but I don't remember when I did that. I think they finally get to a confession at like chapter 150.
Yeah, definitely a slow burn on the romance side.
It's a slow burn, but it's so good.
But it's also, one of the things I really do feel like, because and we'll get into this more, if you've seen some of the comments online about like the way that they're like dealing with some of the like sexual assault kind of content.
Nah, I have thoughts and I'm willing to fight.
Yeah, but it's really important to point out that they are cutting out a lot of the context around it. And I do think that Dandadan is really good at really making you realize that these are teenagers who are in high school and are having to deal with otherworldly threats. Unlike, again, Jujutsu Kaisen, where you have to go, oh, right, he's supposed to be 16. You don't forget that in this.
Which is 90% of shonen where you're like, oh yeah, this is a 16-year-old fighting a war.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really good. And that if that's something that's bothered you about shonens and stuff, this one does a really good job of. It's very clear and it's like relevant to the story that they are in fact teenagers and that they shouldn't necessarily have to do this, but here they are.
And also, the opener for season 1 is a bop.
It's so good.
Creepy Nuts?
Creepy Nuts are amazing.
I got a lot to say about Creepy Nuts.
All right, then I guess we should do the woo-doo-woo-doo-woo sound.
Yeah. We'll talk about Creepy Nuts and GILFs in the second half.
Yeah.
GILFs?
Yeah.
Go watch season 1.
Go watch season 1. Doodaloo, 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 doodaloo. Do you really not know what GILF means?
I may have seen it written.
Are you talking so GILF as in like GILF?
Yeah.
So like MILF but grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma, okay.
Yeah, MILF but a grandmother.
Listen, Dan, there are so many things that the G could stand for.
You know what? I don't want to know what the other things are.
You know what? But listen, Momo's grandma, and one of the main characters' name is Momo. We'll get to that in a second. We need to talk about Grandma Seiko first because I still don't know where her deal is. Why does she look like that? Why is she hot?
Yeah, why is she so hot?
I mean, also, like, why? I understand, like, well, why not? But also, why is she hot?
The reason is because it's fucking awesome. But she's always smoking a cigarette. She, like, at one point, there's, like, this really, like, nice moment where we'll talk about the Mantis in a minute, but, like, Mantis is, like, really growing close to the family. And, like, he, like, found somewhere to belong. Like, he's, like, trying to help them. And she beats the ever-loving fuck out of him for taking the last piece of sushi that she wanted. Just
Listen, I can
straight up
relate.
drop kicks.
Don't touch my fucking sushi. Ooh, but we should put a pin in that. We need to put a pin in that because there's also the trope of a wonderful big meal after everything. I'm gonna Google that. Continue talking.
Is that it? Sure. All right. I believe you. It's like at the end of
I had a thought,
X-Men
and now I
arcs
have to like.
where they do baseball. Yeah, I loved this show. I did the music and the everything. I think the music is what got me to finally start watching it, and the 100 manga romance mangas. But I love because I'm not a fan. I like sci-fi, but like this blending the aliens and the ghosts and all that shit is so cool. Like,
Oh yeah.
just such a cool concept to me.
I don't have to pick one.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
the
'cause that's-
inspirations.
Because that is,
Go ahead.
something that like is always, somebody who loves fantasy and loves sci-fi. It's kind of like, it's it like it feels like sometimes they're at war, and so it's very nice to have something that is like, yes, this episode does have aliens and also a spirit that's from somebody's, some crazy thing that happened in the past, and they're both involved and both trying, and they have to fight both of them with their various powers. So it's just nice to have. It's like, and it's blended well enough that it's like you could switch in some cases which one's the alien, which one's the spirit, and the story still works. So it works really well.
That's what I like. That like you can take one's look and make it an alien, but it's also like what was the one they versed in the house looked like a golem, but I can't remember what it was. It was the big one that came inside like the compound the first time they got home.
It was like
guy?
the very first one.
Yeah, it was like the first real threat.
What the fuck was his name? It was kind of just like a giant rock.
Yeah, but it like had a certain style. Damn, I'm so off the. I can't even find its name. Either way, they talk about kappas a lot, which are the like turtle myths.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think what's really fun about like what Pat said about like blending that science fiction and that fantasy aspect is that like when it comes to the aliens and like the alien characters, they kind of go like balls to the wall with it, and they're like, let's just make some weird shit. And then when it moves into like the ghost territory, it really plays into the cultural Japanese aspects. So, like there's a lot about yokai, and there's a lot about just how the culture of ghosts and spirits and demons and things like that permeate throughout the country, and how that affects like people's livelihoods and their jobs. Like Momo's grandma is literally a spirit medium, and like, yeah, sure, a lot of people think of it kind of as a joke, but like that's literally her job.
Sorry, I found it. It is the
Flatwoods Monster.
But the Flatwoods Monster is something like I knew. That's why I couldn't think of it, because it was a real. Okay, sorry. Pause. Real is in quotes for me. It is a urban myth of the Flatwoods Monster in West Virginia, which is like supposedly an alien trapped in like a suit or something.
Yeah.
But then it takes it and has like the Japanese. He kind of looks like a sumo wrestler in a way. Like he's got the sumo wrestler get up and stuff, but he's an alien. But he's also has like the cultural like. It's just so cool. It's just such a well drawn and like thought of world. Yeah, the Flatwood Monster is I'll send you what it really like quote unquote really looks like. It's not much bigger than a human, and it's like an upside down like heart head. Yeah, stuff like that. I just love. I love when they combine the two things. But sorry.
Yeah, I think that's a fun blending of like cultures, and because like so one of the main characters, Okarun, whose name is actually Ken Takakura, but Momo calls him Okarun. he's the one who's super obsessed with aliens, and he like collects all of these magazines and he trolls forums and websites. So he's like very well versed in cryptids and the concept of alien encounters pretty much like globally.
Yeah,
And
because he
I think
clocks
it's
the
really, yeah,
flatheads.
he clocks a lot of the aliens that show up, especially when they do have that more, especially when their design is very much rooted in something that is real. Like there's the Loch Ness monster is one that pops up.
Wait, really?
Yeah, yeah. Nessie pops up later.
That's awesome. I hope they do like things like the Mothman and like Jersey Devil and stuff because that would be cool to see in this style.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so like they end up taking these other really well-known like legends and lore from other parts of the world and giving it that kind of Japanese artistic and cultural flair, like with the Flatwoods Monster and the sumo wrestler, which is super fun.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really I always think it's fun when to watch Japanese interpretation of American stuff. Um and so it's always fun to but usually it's about like the way Americans are, so it's nice to see kind of some of the what I think is some of the more interesting cultural stuff about the US, like kind of some of these urban legends and myths that we have, and seeing kind of how that is interpreted through the Japanese lens, and then yeah, and just the art style and stuff, because yeah, I mean I love any drawing of Mothman, so I think it'd be great to see
Yes.
what they do with something like that. And yeah, it's just fun to see and have. And
It's also
um
nice because you could just see that, like what you're saying, you could just see the American kind of stuff brought through a different lens. When again in Chainsaw Man, it was pretty much just gun. It was like, yeah, America, gun.
Which,
which
like,
which we've
fair,
earned.
Yeah,
valid.
which means sense, but it was like, oh yeah, cool. But like there's all this also cool things you can make into demons.
Yeah.
But
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think something that's like super fun to consider as you go into Dandadan is like I don't remember what I was gonna say there, so cut that out.
no, you got this.
No, I fully don't remember what I was gonna say.
Then we move.
Gone.
Um, the oh shit! God damn it! I lost. I caught whatever you had because now I can't remember what I was going to say.
You caught the ADHD sickness?
Yeah.
Oh no. Three
Please.
bitches with ADHD on the same pod late in the day. Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. Damn.
Anyway.
Good luck editing the second one we record tonight.
Listen, shut up. Anyway, we're doing this kind of out of order because we're really excited about the aliens and the ghost aspects, as you could clearly tell. But maybe we should kind of go back and start with,
Oh yeah, we
like,
did start with GILFs. Now we're out into the
We did
monsters.
start
Probably
with
talk about the
GILFs.
actual characters.
Yeah, we should maybe talk about, Momo and Okarun.
Yes.
I
But
love them.
yeah, so like the whole point, the whole like starting point is that like Okarun is just this weirdo who like nobody at school talks to, and he just is super into aliens, and that's really like all we get from him in the first couple of chapters and episodes. And then Momo is very clearly portrayed as this like popular girl. She's very pretty. She is breaking up with her boyfriend in the first couple chapters and episodes. So clearly she has some sort of social status in that way. So they make Okarun and Momo seem very much at opposite ends of the social spectrum. And then they kind of like turn everything on its head by revealing that Momo is very much like, no, ghosts are real. And you need to get with the fucking program.
Yeah. And it's a fun, it's one of the, it's a fun switch up of the trope of like nerdy boy and cool girl who fall in love. even though they're like from opposite, subcultures, whatever. It's nice. It's a fun twist that it's like that's not the issue. The issue is that one of them believes in ghosts and one of them believes in aliens, and then they find out that they're both right, and then that bonds them
And
together.
now they have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah. So, and it's nice because I mean, it's just so it gets so tired as like, oh, here's the nerdy guy. He believes in all these weird things, and the pretty girl who, and really more so just the pretty girl who's here to look pretty. And that's like the whole depth of her character. So it's fun that there's this whole other aspect of Momo about she has all of this knowledge and understanding about ghosts and has like training with her grandmother and
Yeah,
lives
like,
in a shrine,
mhm.
and all this stuff. And it's a lot more than just she's the pretty girl.
But
She's
like
like actually a developed character.
she is such a well-developed character. I love her so much. Like, I'm not the kind of person who thinks like subtitles are better than dub or that the dub is better than subtitles. I think both of them have equal weight and equal space, and it really just depends on like what you're in the mood for and what kind of time you have on your hands. But like, I think everybody should listen to the dub of Dandadan because their translations, and not only the translations of their dialogue, but also like the actual voice actors and the way that they do the dialogue is just so good.
Oh yeah,
Because I
actually,
think it brings both Momo and Okarun like so heavily to life. And I also think that's one of the things that makes them feel so much like teenagers.
yes, I definitely agree. I also the other thing about it too is the show also relies heavily on the voice performances to help characterize them as the main characters because they definitely both have like a style to them and they both I mean I think they're very well designed characters, but they don't have first character syndrome
Yeah, they don't
where
have main character
I mean
syndrome.
Yeah,
where it
they're not
doesn't
wearing
they
like giant costumes.
yeah they're
They don't
they
have
have
really fancy hair.
yeah, they have normal hair and wear, pretty regular clothes and they're not their hair isn't pink or green or
Well,
orange. Well,
not them.
But the
Gigi's is, but
secondary characters have
Yeah.
main character disease.
Yes.
yes.
I think as a theme of the show, they have main character disease. That like that's a part of them, who they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so, I honestly think that some of the story is kind of poking fun. The
Oh, I think so
secondary
too.
characters having that main character syndrome but it's like actually it's Okarun and Momo's story. Back off.
Yes, I agree. But going back to the voice acting real quick, I think one of the things now that we're firmly in spoiler territory, one of the things I remember when I first started watching the dub, I looked up is Okarun's like does he have the same voice actor between his like regular human version and his possessed version?
Yes, he
And it's the
does.
same voice actor and it's incredible because it is a full switch in how he reads the lines and like even like the level or the octave of the voice he's using and all this other stuff. It's the same voice actor throughout it, and it's so good to characterize the difference between like regular Okarun and Turbo Granny Okarun, and it's I mean it's just fantastic. And I don't know, I didn't watch this up at all, so I don't know what
I
the
love AJ Beckles. AJ Beckles is perfect.
He's in a ton.
Wow.
I'm looking at his
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
IMDb
yeah.
right now. He's like in so many things. I don't know
Mhm.
if these characters are big in the other like the Bleach and Tokyo Revengers. But he's like in a bunch of Gundam and good for him. Huh. I didn't look at the cat. I just thought the voice acting was so good. Like as you're both saying, I was really impressed. Sometimes voice acting between the sub and the dub can really change it. Like I could never, and this might be sacrilege. I could never like watch the subbed version of Dragon Ball Z, just because that's never
That's
going to
fair.
be Goku's voice for me. Like that'll never seem real to me. And I think these characters, the way they're done in the dub is just so good. Like they just have really, both of them are really well acted. And what is she? Oh, she's Shelly in Date Everything. Sorry, it's
Oh, Abby Trottis.
Abby Trot.
yeah.
Yes.
She's also Nezuko
Who the hell's that?
Oh, in
from Demon Slayer.
the girl with
demon
the
sister.
bamboo in her mouth.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yes, and she's also Magic in Marvel Rivals.
Ah.
Cool.
And then Turbo Granny is played by Barbara Goodson, who is most famous for being Rita Repulsa in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's incredible.
That's why she sounded so familiar, and I kind of liked it.
Oh my god, wait. Okay, but we need to we need to give
I
context
love
to
Rita
Turbo
Repulsa.
Granny and why this is perfect.
Yes.
That is wild.
It's I think I knew that. I think I looked that up after I first heard Turbo Granny, and I was like, oh shit, does Dan know this? And then I obviously forgot to
I'm glad you saved it for the episode because I had no idea, and I'm gonna rewatch it now. Yeah, it's
Turbo
Barbara Goodson.
Granny-
Holy shit!
Turbo Granny is a hilarious character. But also her lore is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
think
so
it's a really interesting story, though.
yeah, because I think the lore of Turbo Granny really plays into the ways in which Dandadan tackles. I feel like it really does kind of focus on, violence against women is such a big part of the manga and of the show. If you have, you as in the listener, if you have seen anything on Twitter or whatever, there's definitely been a lot of like quote unquote discourse about the portrayal of the sexual violence and the sexual assault. Pat, I don't know if you remember, or Dan, I don't know if you've seen that there's been some big threads about how Momo is used as fan service, which I think is
Insane.
a heinous thing to say.
Yeah.
But I also recognize that a lot of the people who are saying these things are sort of coming at it from the lens of oh, why is it not a bigger deal? Why do they kind of just brush it off? Why does Momo get up from these experiences and just walk away? And it's because that is what being a woman is like. You have those kinds of experiences and you go through them. And if you live through it, you go, all right, that's another day in the books, and then you move on.
Yeah. Well, and
that's kind of why I feel personally it is portrayed in this way. Because, we started off with that trigger warning of there is sexual violence and sexual assault. And one of the very first things that happens to Momo is that she gets sexually assaulted by an alien.
Yeah. But
it's wild.
And it's definitely, I do think that is definitely a lot of it too. One of the things that they also are doing is you're why are they portraying Momo, being assaulted like this, and then she's a minor, all this other stuff, and they are also not showing the next scene where she then beats the shit out of him. It's whether or not that's the appropriate way you feel about dealing with the situation. It's not she's just constantly getting into these situations where these creepy old guys are being inappropriate with her or assaulting her, and then that's it. That's it's just there to be there. No, it's they receive consequences for the actions that happen to them.
Yeah, and I also think it's there's layers to it, because yes, this is happening to Momo, and I also feel that there is a certain level of I want to say feminine wish fulfillment in it, as it like that is to say Momo being able to then get up and beat the shit out of the people who commit these acts of violence against her is so cathartic to watch. It's so good and beautiful. And that's just kind of that is also represented in Turbo Granny. Because like Turbo Granny's whole deal is that she's a yokai who is haunting this like specific tunnel, and her whole deal is that she basically like beats the shit out of men who are doing terrible things to girls.
Yeah, it rocks.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's how Okarun gets possessed.
Yeah, and it's definitely, and like Turbo Granny's something that is like it's not Turbo Granny's not like a Dandadan original. Like it's a urban legend that is pretty like it's pretty like a pretty well known one rather in Japan.
Is
like
it actually called Turbo Granny?
Yes.
Yes, I believe.
Really?
So.
Yeah, I think that's like the
Turbo
like the
else.
translation.
Yeah.
Because they don't use the like the formal name for grandmother kind of deal. But it's in Shin Megami Tensei video games, Turbo Granny is one of the yokai you can catch and like use in the battles and stuff that you get there.
She is called the demon of the foul race. Because
so
like
cool.
her whole thing is that she's fucking Sonic. She's super fast.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a but yeah, so and that's what like a lot of it is that because I think if I remember correctly, Acrobatic Silky is something that is also
Acrobatic Silky is also based on something real.
Yeah, so they're taking like some real urban legends and stuff, and but I think treating them in a really interesting way too, because one of the things and again playing into this whole thing about like really kind of showing about the violence that women face is that they're a lot of times will be like, oh, here's Turbo Granny, here's Acrobatic Silky, here's whatever yokai, and it's just like, oh, they're being crazy, you got to fight them, and that's the end of it. But we get real
and then you get backstory, and then you cry.
Yeah, you get real justification about why they've been turned into their spirit's been turned into a yokai, what has led to them being like this, why they're fighting the way that they're fighting, why they're like for Acrobatic Silky, why she's having this complete mental break, and then you get this backstory that is just absolutely devastating about the horrors that she had to live through when she was alive with her and her daughter, and why that would have led to her becoming in a world where spirits, spirits are a tangible thing that can lead to becoming a yokai, would end up in a situation where you have this where you end up as Acrobatic Silky, and it's really great because it's not just here's some crazy monster to fight. Like these monsters the quote unquote monsters are here as like for a real reason to that they exist for legitimate reasons that are due to the way that society is and the way that people treat women and other people that lead to this. And it's nice having just so much real development, even for the characters that are ultimately the enemies for, an arc.
Yeah. And I also think like on the other side of the coin, there like Dandadan does have a lot to say about, I feel like, masculinity and about like quote unquote how to be a man and like that toxic masculinity in a way, because like so like Turbo Granny steals Okarun's testicles.
Steals his banana.
No, the aliens want his banana.
Oh, she just steals his balls.
She just steals his balls. Right. Well, she does say that she's going to bite off his dong, but she doesn't end up doing that.
Doesn't he lose his wiener too?
No.
Oh, I guess he just lost his balls. There might
be there might be a moment where he is full Ken doll, but the whole like plot is that he has to get his balls back.
Also incredible.
Which I think, like, I am not a boy. I do not have a banana. So like
I don't like that you said it like a minion. I don't like that at all. Nope.
So my commentary on this is very limited, but I do think there is something to be said about like Turbo Granny steals Okarun's testicles, and then Turbo Granny possesses Okarun, and now Okarun has Turbo like these incredible powers, and like there's so much about him like getting controlling these powers and wielding them, but then also at the same time he's like, I need my balls back. And like, where does that lead? What does that do? And like, I have many thoughts about it, as have it like since I've read the whole manga so far. But I don't want to talk about the whole manga, but I just want to say that I do think that there's something to be said there.
I agree with you. I think that's the thing you were talking about earlier about the masculinity stuff. Like you see it a lot in the other guys in school and how they talk about Momo. Like it's really shitty. They're all like, she's a slut. Like all this like stuff that is like the furthest from the truth. Like it's just so like it's so shitty. You see all that, and then you see Okarun just like, fuck you, dude. What the fuck? And he's just like so confused. Another thing I just want to note about Okarun, completely out of context, side note, his glasses, like the attention brought to his glasses and his character is my favorite part of his design. I just love how it's also incorporated into his like demon,
into his transformation.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part about Okarun's design is that before he meets Momo, he has straight hair, and then his ass gets electrocuted, and now he has curly hair forever.
Wait, really? I would have never
like
that.
Go back to the first episode. The first time you see Okarun, his hair is straight, and then he like goes to the tunnel and he gets possessed and shit goes crazy, and then after all that is said and done, his hair is curly.
Amazing.
Wait, Patrick, did you not notice this either?
No, I did. I did notice it. Yeah.
I was like, I have hyper fixated on that.
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, they do. There's a lot of like small things like that that are never really addressed, but are just fun ways to help characterize them. That isn't things like his hair has a weird yellow outline.
It just does a lot. Like, I feel like Dandadan has a lot of very subtle things that it does. And, like, without having to, like, say it out loud.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And it's also, the subtleness is also nice balance for when, you know, they end up having to fight a hermit crab in a tie.
Ugh, I love him.
Such a great, just a beautifully sad character.
There is an alien. He is a mantis shrimp, and his whole deal is that he's basically a contract killer because he needs to get fluids for his child. What are these fluids? I'll tell you in a second. His child lives on another planet and has a disease where the child needs regular transfusions. What does he need regular transfusions of? Milk. He needs milk.
He needs some milk.
And when the mantis shrimp, like, when everything is said and done, and the mantis shrimp is like, my child needs these transfusions, and everybody's like, wait, your child needs milk? We have so much of that.
It's Granny who realizes, she's like, oh, yeah, his blood, it just kind of smelled like when you like wipe up milk with a rag.
Yeah.
It's like, sure. I don't understand that smell. But
Here's
sure.
a whole dairy cow.
It is sent out of space. That is a very funny fucking image because of like that's what quote unquote always gets abducted is cows and people from the Midwest. It's so fucking funny to see that visual.
Oh yeah.
They're just like, oh, you need this cow for reasons.
Yeah. and just him constantly talking about being a gig worker.
Yes. He's just kind of like a loser for his people, and he's just a gig worker. Sad.
Yeah,
But it's fine because he lives on Earth now.
Wait, does he come back?
He does. He comes back.
Oh, hell yeah. Because he says it, and it's like, oh, hopefully he comes back. I love that guy.
Oh yeah, like if you get to Mantis Shrimp and you also fall in love with him, he comes back. Mr. Shrimp comes back. You're not getting rid of him.
I love mantis shrimp in real life. I think they're the coolest thing. Um, Another thing, like maybe my biggest takeaway from season one that I've like not stopped thinking about since I watched it. And Pat, I don't know if you noticed this, but they use the William Tell overture, which is like the cowboy that dun 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 dun
Oh
dun.
yeah!
So they use that as Okarun's kind of like he's.
Is that with the
doing
crab?
something. Yeah, when he's like fighting, and it's like, hold on, I gotta play it. Give me a second. Um,
Yeah, I think that's when they're running on the train, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So it's called the William Tell Overture, but for the show with the Kensuke Ushio, who does the score, it is called William Hell Overture.
amazing.
It's so great. It
Yeah.
may be my favorite thing. Like it's just such a small little note that like I'm assuming 99% of people didn't notice, but when I saw William Hell Overture, I was like, this is gonna be one of my new favorite shows.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously knew I knew that music, and I was like, oh yeah, this is fantastic, but I didn't know that it was called William Hell.
Yep. William Hell Overture. I've always thought it was funny it was called the William Tell Overture, but everybody knows it as just like the cowboy song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, what'd you think of it as? Yeah, but I think the whole score is actually really good. There's another song, Paranormal Funk, that is really solid. I Anime
And-
always has great openers. Well, has a lot of great openers, and closers as well. And this show really has that as it keeps the trend alive. Did they change the
Yeah.
theme song in season 2?
They do. It's not as good, but I've grown to like it
Why'd they do that?
It's just an anime thing. Every season has a new song.
because
That's not cool.
Yeah, it's really hard when you start your first season with a absolute banger from Creepy Nuts to then like apologies to anybody who has to follow that up. It's just not gonna work out. It's gonna be the same thing with fucking Mashal in the third season because Creepy Nuts does a second season opener. You've almost certainly, even if you haven't seen Mashal, you've almost certainly heard the song on TikTok.
yeah, if you have been on TikTok for any length of time and your FYP is full of anime and you were on TikTok around April last year, you heard it.
What is it?
The hold on.
Mashal?
Which honestly, Dan, I think you'll find pretty fun because it's the whole concept of Mashal is it's a world of magic users and there's a guy who doesn't know magic but he punches things hard.
Where can I watch it?
On Crunchyroll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound good.
This episode is not sponsored by Crunchyroll, but it should be.
It should be. Listen, if Crunchyroll ever wants to sponsor, I'll do whatever I have to. Whatever I have to.
Yeah, and the opening song for the second season is called Bling Bang Bang Bon.
Oh, yeah.
Which I will not rap or sing because you
Oh,
don't
yeah, I've
want to
heard
hear
that.
that.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's the same guy who does the Dandadan, or same group that does the Dandadan opener
I didn't
for
know
season
about
1.
things like AMVs and stuff up until this show, really.
I think that's wild.
And now it's all my TikTok is just edits now because I learned that's a thing. Today I got I think it was like a Queen Bitch type song, but with Luke Skywalker.
Oh my god.
Possibly the gayest thing I've ever seen Luke Skywalker in, other than, the movies.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Other than Star Wars?
Yeah. The what was the tweet? That Luke Skywalker didn't wear the Chanel boots for J.J. Abrams to say he created the first gay Star Wars character.
Oh my god.
But but yes, the opener for season 1 is just
So good.
It's so
incredible.
good. Like if you do anything, it should be to at least go listen to the song.
Yeah, it is truly on the same level as Lost in Paradise from season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is, I kid you not, the sole reason I watched Jujutsu Kaisen
I think
season
the
1.
second season
But
openers.
Dandadan delivers.
Hey,
But Dandadan does have you should watch it for the song and also the show.
yeah, JJK has been fucking. I was so excited because it was like the anime. I was like, I love this. The show's so great. And I read the entire series.
Yeah, and then it goes downhill like nobody's business.
I felt like someone was slamming my head into a table for the last honestly everything after the Culling game halfway through on. I just wanted to be dead, but. And then, oh man, they never. Oh, sorry, spoilers for JJK, but they're in that KFC in hell now. So I'm never gonna recover from it.
I'm sorry
Never.
for your loss. I've decided I'm not finishing JJK.
Don't.
I'm not going to.
It's not worth the time. The show's
I'm
good.
going-
Maybe the show will fix it, but
They probably won't. I'm gonna stay over here in Dandadan Land because so far I have not been betrayed at all by anything.
Yeah,
Oh.
and season 2 so far been great. As we're recording this, I think we're 5 episodes in season 2 now that have been released, and it is
I think it's 4.
yeah, maybe it's 4, but it's
I think tonight is 4.
it's simuldub, so which is also really nice. As somebody with ADHD, and when I'm watching anime after my job, I cannot also read subtitles. So I really appreciate that I don't have to wait forever for the dub to also come out. So if that's which is very nice, that you can, and it's not one of the My Hero Academia simuldub where the dub comes out 2 weeks later. They come out the same night. So that's a big.
ooh,
Yes. But yeah, season 2 currently focuses very heavily on a secondary character who has main character syndrome.
But it's also it's like minor main character syndrome. It's not that
minor main character, but like I think what's really funny about the 2 main supporting characters, Gigi and Ira, I think what's really funny about them is that they're kind of set up to be romantic rivals in a way with like Okarun and Momo. And like all of the plot beats are there. Like there's the jealousy, there's there's, oh my god, Gigi is so cool. He plays soccer and he's Momo's childhood friend and he's really attractive, but also like the manga and the anime make it very clear that Momo only has eyes for Okarun. And then there's Ira, who is like most popular girl in school, and everybody loves her, and she's the queen of everything, and she has all these wonderful traits, and like deep down inside, she's the most insecure human to ever exist. And also she's in love with Okarun, but Okarun is like, Miss Ayase!
God, I like their dynamics. The red guy, the guy with the red hair who showed up, that's
Gigi.
bigger in the second season.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to kill him.
It's
Showed up and ruined the whole dynamic. He's gonna ruin my boy's life.
What I love is that that's the point.
Yeah,
like,
it's good. I like it.
Gigi shakes it up, but then like I think him shaking it up gives Momo and Okarun even more opportunity to show how much closer they get, because like even though those shakeups do happen and they do kind of throw a wrench in everything every single time, it's still just like, and we are righting the wrongs and we are coming back to each other again.
Yeah, it's a really it's a great show. Like, I really do enjoy it.
And like also like the animation is good and the art is good. It's just so nice to look at.
Yeah, the music is good, the art is good, like everything about it is just really stellar.
It's funny. It makes you cry sometimes. It's a little scary.
It's good. It's my new favorite one.
It's got all the things.
Yeah.
I told Pat like very early on that Dandadan like shot all the way up into like top 5 anime for me. Like very quickly.
Yeah, it's just so nice how consistent it is. And that the pacing is very good, and it addresses things in a really good way. And I think even that applies not just to like the writing, but also the animation too, because sometimes we've all done it. We've all seen an anime where it's like, oh, I see they hired the fight animators for this episode.
Oh, that's where their budget went.
Yes.
The animation between the action scenes and the non-action scenes are very consistent too, which I like, because sometimes it's like you're watching
egregious.
and it's like I keep thinking of the episode of Yu Yu Hakusho after the end of the dark tournament, and then all of a sudden it's like such a radical they hired a guest animator for like one episode, and it's such a radically
they were like,
different,
you can do the filler.
Yeah, it's such radically different. It's like, what's going on? And there's a lot of attention to, because I think the visuals are a big part of it, and a lot of attention to detail, and not really wanting to mess with that.
I love Dandadan. Go watch it.
Yeah, that's all we got.
That's pretty much the thesis here.
Yeah, and listen, if you're not sold yet, and you need another reason to go watch it.
Well, if you're not sold yet, first of all, why?
Yeah, but if you really need one other thing, all you need to know is that, I guess, friend of the podcast, Kevin Pickett, that
oh my god, yes,
that his dad, who is retired,
his retired middle-aged white man dad.
And if you think of like just like classic dad energy.
Kevin's dad
watches Dandadan.
This man has been added to the Crunchyroll account.
That's awesome.
Watches Dandadan and he loves it.
I'm gonna text him about it.
You should definitely text Kevin.
I'm gonna get Kevin's dad's number from Kevin to text him.
Please do it. You'll be the first.
And
I love those people.
I will say the one thing we did learn is that he watches dubs, but with the subs for the Japanese on as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Good old Triple P. And his dad.
Yeah, but if you need something, Kevin, our friend Kevin's.
It is middle-aged, white, New Jersey awesome. Dad approved.
That's incredible. That's my new favorite fact.
Yeah,
it's make him listen to an episode, so he's gonna have to listen to the end to find where we talk about him.
Yeah. We'll have to tell Kevin specifically, have your dad listen to this episode.
I think about Kevin a lot, and you guys play Dungeons and Dragons with him, but you probably don't play Dungeons and Dragons with the same Kevin I did, where he once climbed up.
No, he does not climb up anybody's ass.
Yeah, he climbed up Goblin's asshole. I'll never forget that.
I think part of that is because I'm usually the one making bad decisions.
Yeah.
Very true.
Good old Triple P.
And he has to save me.
Well, you can find everything we do at gatecrashers.fan. We do reviews, interviews, episodes, analysis. Going to try to be more consistent with podcasts. You can hold me to that, not everybody else. Thank you both for doing this episode. I love this show.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And have fun with the rest of Anime August.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.